In light of reports warning of impending famine and rising child malnutrition, what specific interventions are needed for international aid organizations to prevent further escalation of this crisis?
I think the international community and the organization should much more interfere in this. As you know, this problem even in Gaza, especially on the that the hospital sectors, and will influence also on the child and also on the women, because now there is no any medicine is entering Gaza. So the international community and the organization they should be also a much more interfere and should also push and pressure on Israel also to stop all this genocide. Because as you know, if Israel is going ahead with this, there will be many people will die by by starvation and also by the lack of the food and the medicine. So even that also the Arab countries after the Arab summit, they also should also discuss this matter and pressure on the United States of America that they should solve the
Do you
problem
see,
of
sir,
the.
that discussions are bringing any results? Do you see anything that's getting better?
Until now, I don't think that there is anything have been happened, because you know that the American is just busy, or they are focusing on the hostages, how they could release the detainees, and in the same time they are not interested on the life of the people or the humanitarian that situation in Gaza. They are just focusing on the detainees by the Israeli detainees, and that this is the story for them. But I think also they should be also not discussion. Also, they should be also pressure on the United States of America.
Sir, all
That's
this
mean.
impunity that's taking place is to pressure Hamas to release the detainees and to pressure Hamas to do what they want them to do. But on the other side, we have a big, big crisis taking place, sir, which is people that are dying now on the ground.
We could focusing that on the implementation of the first stage, which is that as that we know that they pick now for the first stage to go to the second stage. That means they should by Israeli government to go ahead with the second stage. Otherwise, I think the Israeli will continue making all these crimes against the Palestinians in Gaza, and I don't think that the
Dr.
intervention.
Becky, it's obvious that they're not able to make Israel to move on with the second stage of the ceasefire. I'll go back to Dr. Osman. Dr. Osman, despite the ceasefire agreement, Israel's recent decision to close the border crossings and hold the humanitarian aid seems to be an international escalation. How do you read this, sir, and actions from a political perspective? And what does it mean for the stability of the ceasefire, sir?
Of course, it puts the fate of the ceasefire into question, and basically the Israelis are inching very slowly back towards escalation in the Gaza Strip. Not only have they now deprived the people of basic necessities by reimposing the blockade or the embargo on Gaza, but also they target Palestinians almost on a daily basis, killing Palestinians on a daily basis in clear violation of the ceasefire, just
sir,
like what they
cutting
did.
off electricity, sir.
Yes, of course, all the humanitarian, all the means of sustenance, they are cutting it, unfortunately. And now they are even considering cutting the entire water supply to the Gaza Strip as one further step of escalation. And I think that they will keep escalating until they are able to resume the war. And they are trying to ruin the direct negotiations the United States is holding with Hamas with regards to the detainee exchange. Of course, this is something that has reportedly enraged the Israeli government, and they see that that this move by the United States does not undercuts or undermines Israel's designs in Gaza. However, they have the capability to undermine this. On the other hand, the Israelis to undermine all the U.S. endeavors, and of course undermine the Qatari and Egyptian initiatives to end this war at the end of the day. And I think this is what the Israelis are planning. They do not want this ceasefire to go on. They
It's
just
very
want to
obvious,
use it.
sir. Also, the Israeli aggression in the Gaza Strip has not stopped. Where yesterday, sir, just yesterday, Israel bombed and killed people in Gaza. What does the lack of respect for the ceasefire mean for the negotiations, Dr. Osman?
It will only serve to the detriment of the negotiations. It will only threaten the negotiations that make it even harder. The Israelis think that they can gain leverage by violating the ceasefire, while actually all it does is jeopardize any future chances of a sustainable calm and a permanent cessation of hostilities in the Gaza Strip. And I think why the Israelis are doing that is simply because they are not interested. They're not remotely even interested in ending the war in Gaza. They have not, after 15 months of aggression, they have not yielded any results that they can market as a victory. Netanyahu has failed to defeat Hamas, even though he destroyed its capabilities and destroyed the Gaza Strip and committed an act of genocide. Yet Hamas still exists, and the Palestinian resistance still exists despite all of this bloodletting that the Israelis have indulged in. So now he wants to go back to war in order to deal some sort of decisive blow to Hamas. At least he imagines that he can do that. And now with the reshuffles he had in his military, now we have a new chief of staff, military chief of staff, General Zamir, and apparently he is a radical lunatic, just like Netanyahu is. And it appears that he is, if the war resumes, God forbid, he will resume the war at a much more brutal pace, and even reports that he intends to reoccupy the entire Gaza Strip and conduct a counterinsurgency operation. If this happens, it will mean that tens of thousands of Palestinians, tens of thousands more of Palestinians will die, and it could actually threaten with the idea of the displacement of Palestinians outside the Gaza Strip, which could lead to a regional crisis.